Dr. Mahender Singh, Chief Executive Officer of the Malaysia Institute for Supply Chain Innovation, thank you for being with us on the InvestKL Conversations. What have you been working on this past couple of years, Mahender?
Since we've been here since August of 2011, we were given this opportunity to set up a school which is fashioned after the program that we have back at MIT to offer a full-time master's program in supply chain management. This whole impetus came about with the significant amount of growth that ASEAN in general, along with Asia, has seen in the recent past. And the trend is that it is only going to become much more active as a global player. But the main reason for us to come here was really to start conducting research, which is based and rooted in the realities of Asia.
Mahender, one fortunate consequences of your being in KL in Malaysia is the fact that you can work with some of the biggest plantation companies. And of course, you are doing lots of work with Procter & Gamble.
Yes.
Was your decision to base yourself in KL a very much an intended consequence in terms of looking for a viable ASEAN locale?
I would say yes and no. Part of it was serendipity, that it was an opportunity that presented itself in the sense that we were looking for a partner that would allow the institute to do primary research. And with the relationship that we were able to have with the government of Malaysia, that we felt comfortable. In addition to that, we feel that Malaysia has the right infrastructure. It's a good place for international people to be homed here. We do get students from around the world. Our faculty is very, very global. So language matters. The ease of doing business matters. So for us, on all those parameters, this came out as a good place to be.
What does MIT's involvement in KL mean for the manufacturing sector, for the producing sector, for Asia as a whole?
So I would say there are multiple fronts on which our presence can help the economy, the regional and the local economy. Number one is conducting research, as I said. There's one thing to say, yes, companies are doing great things out in the world, so let's just copy them. I don't think that works. Companies have failed doing that. Number two, one of the biggest things that we see as a shortcoming for the region is availability of good supply chain talent, global standard talent, that companies can really utilize them to say, can you come up and improve the performance of my supply chain? This has been a weakness for the experts or the professionals in the region. That I feel is a hole that we will plug. So we think giving these companies that are coming to KL or coming to Malaysia this access to this top-notch talent would be the best way to really support them and do wonderful things as they go forward.
Mahender, undeniably Boston is a perfect location, if there was ever a definition, for learning.
Yes.
How can KL finesse itself to get to where Boston is? And in fact, what characteristics of KL are already inherent in being conducive to a learning environment?
Great question. And I hope, and I say it with all sincerity, that KL should become KL. It should not become Boston. KL is a great, vibrant place. KL has a very multi-ethnic community, which is very much, I would say, a part of its strength. And of course, it creates its own challenges. But being located in the ASEAN region, with all the infrastructure that you have available, with all the ease of connecting with all the big Asian countries and within ASEAN, I think what KL has to offer for a person in my profession is the diversity that I see for a person who's intellectually driven, a person who's very eager to learn, experiment things. This is the place. That within a short distance, I can go into a system that looks and behave completely differently. What could be better to run an experiment than having something like this available? So I think what KL has to offer in terms of the ease of doing things, but yet see all the complexity in full glory, is a wonderful thing, and it should be tapped for what it is.
Dr. Mahender Singh, Chief Executive of the Malaysia Institute for Supply Chain Innovation, thank you for being on the InvestKL Conversations.
Thank you very much for the invite, and we look forward to working with you closely in the future as well. Thank you.